Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with the day 16 video for JoyTangle, which is a 25-day Christmas themed Zentangle challenge that I recently hosted on my social media platforms. And as requested by all of you, I'm posting the full length detailed tutorials for all the 25 projects that I created during this challenge. And as per the list of prompts that I had created for this challenge, I am on day 16, which means the prompt for this particular project was Ipso. Now, Ipso is actually a super fun tangle to draw, and one of the reasons why I included this in my list of prompts was because I feel that it reminds me of entangled Christmas lights. So, yeah, as you can see, it basically starts off with these wavy, curvy lines, which are basically going random in different directions. And they're also very, very similar to how we create neurographic art. And that reminds me that I have a course on neurographic art available on Skillshare, which I just recently launched. So, in case you are interested to check that out, I'll put the link for that in the description box below. But yeah, coming back to Ipso, the reason why I had included this in my list of prompts was because it genuinely reminds me of Christmas lights. The way they are entangled sometimes when we remove them and we put them in boxes or we store them away, and somehow they just magically get entangled every year. And then you kind of have to open them up back again, straighten them out every year. So, yeah, it just looks like a cluster of lights put together. And especially once you start to color them in, you can actually use color pencils to create like a glowing light effect, and that can make the whole Christmas lights angle come to life even more. I feel so. Yeah, for this particular project I actually decided to keep things very simple. Once my base structure was done, then I just went back in with my pen and I started to add roundings to all those connecting points. Again, this step is very, very similar to how we actually do it in neurographic art. And the reason why I wanted to do it for this particular tangle was because I feel that it helps to emphasize the base structure of the tangle a little bit more. And since this is going to be like my focal element for today's project, I definitely wanted to stand out a little bit better, which is why I decided to go back in and add partial line weight to some of those teardrop shapes as well. And this process can take a fair amount of time depending on how many curvy lines you've drawn and how big your tile is. So for me, this took about, I would say, somewhere around 15 to 20 minutes for the entire tile. And this is slightly bigger than your 4-inch tile. Like it's about 4.5 inches, this particular tile that I'm using. So yeah, it took me about 15 to 20 minutes for this tile. Once those roundings were done at the connecting points and once I had added that partial line weight to the teardrop sections, then I went back in with my red pen as well as my light green pen and I started to color them out. And if you have been following along the entire JoyTangle series, then you know that I'm trying to create some or the other variation with each of my pieces. So up until now, I have done a few tiles which are very color heavy and saturated with a lot of inky areas, and they have almost no paper white showing from under the pattern or from under the composition. But in this particular case, I wanted to be slightly more airy and slightly more playful, which is why I'm going to keep the background white, but I'm going to add pops of color inside these connecting teardrop shapes. And that's why I'm using my red pen and my green pen to fill those areas. Once that was done, then I went back in with my red, my green, and my gold pens, and I started to add these swooshy teardrop like shapes. It's very similar to a tangle called Flux, except that I exaggerate this a little bit more by making that accent swoosh go slightly more curvy than the way we do it in Flux. So yeah, it almost looks like a comma at some places or an apostrophe at some places, or like a bent teardrop. I mean, there are, or even a paisley sometimes. So yeah, there are a lot of references which can be associated with this particular shape. But yeah, I basically don't think so much about it, and I just basically add these swooshy accent elements here and there. And along with that, I also do the dots. So yeah, I'm basically just adding dots and swooshes to all those negative spaces, and just trying to reduce the amount of paper white that we see, but at the same time not covering it up completely, because as I mentioned, I do want to maintain a playful, airy vibe to this particular composition. Once I was done adding those little dots and swooshes and flourishes, then I went back in with my white jelly roll pen and started to add some patterns inside those red and green sections. For the green ones, I decided to go in with simple lines, and for the red ones, I decided to go in with simple dots. While I was adding those white dots inside the red sections, I genuinely do not know why. It reminded me of Minnie Mouse. I have no clue. I do understand the fact that Minnie Mouse has this little pretty bow, which is like this polka dot bow, a red bow with white dots. But yeah, do you also see a little bit of Minnie Mouse influence over here? If you do, let me know in the comments below. Or maybe it's just my playful Disney imagination mind which is coming over here. But anyway, let me know what you think. So yeah, so I added those little dots and little decorative elements here and there. And again, since I wanted to maintain a playful vibe, I didn't overdo it with a lot of intricate patterns. And then I went back in with my gold pen and I started to add in some gold dots to the red flourishes, as well as to some of those dark green areas, because I wanted a little bit more gold on my tile. And sometimes on this top angle, the gold is not so evident on camera, but once I actually remove the washi tape and turn the tile a little bit more towards the light, then you'll be able to see the gold shining beautifully. I also added some gold dots on the green sections, by the way, not just the red ones. So yeah, that's one step that I forgot to mention earlier. All right, so yeah, those were the gold dots. I also added some of them in the green flourish elements. And then I removed my washi tape. And this washi tape was not very nice to me. As you can see, it did tear the paper slightly, but that's okay. These things happen. This is a new batch of washi tapes that I was testing out, and it's fine. But yeah, this is my finished tile, and I absolutely love the fact that it looks like a very pretty Christmas wrapping paper, which is exactly the kind of look that I was going for. I might actually create a digital version of this, which can be printed as a nice wrapping paper. How cool would that be? If I do that, I'll actually post a tutorial for that over here on the channel. What do you guys think about it? Let me know. Do you want me to make a Christmas wrapping paper video? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so anyway, so this was my day 16 project for the JoyTangle series. And if you're interested to check out all the 25 projects that I'm doing in this challenge, then make sure that you check out the JoyTangle playlist, which I've linked in the description box below. And that has all the 25 projects from this Christmas themed Zentangle challenge that I did. As always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to be back very, very soon with another video. Till then, keep creating.